Yeah, and then it comes in.
It's so satisfying.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
And you know what? I also miss ooh, whoa. All right, that's enough of that.
Hey, welcome to Podwatcher. We haven't done intros for the show for the past like 3 or 4 episodes, so I'll say welcome to Podwatcher.
That's right.
Where we kick back and chat about whatever's on our minds. Is that how it goes?
Wait, we abandoned that intro like 20 episodes
yeah, but
ago.
for my jokey one, do you want me to do mine? I have to look it up again.
Well, no, because Steven's not here, and Steven's name is.
I'll change it.
Just while he's looking it up, TJ, like 15 episodes ago, Shane was like, we got to change the intro to this.
Yeah.
And then his change was to not do an intro at all.
I mean, that is a change. So that works. But I have to say that I've been here for 30 seconds, and this is off to a great start.
Oh, by the way, we have a guest
one of the
today.
better ones.
we have a guest today. TJ Marchbank is with us.
Hello.
Well, and you'll learn that in the intro, because here we go.
Yeah,
what up, you dirty worms? Hang on tight, because the Watcher Boys are coming in. I think they just might have a lot to say on this podcast they call Podwatcher, baby, that you just started to play. Ryan, TJ, and Nasty Shane too, and producer Captain Natty on the 1s and 2s. No soap, Apple. Podwatcher. That's when you guys say Podwatcher.
Podwatcher.
No soap,
Podwatcher.
Apple. Podwatcher.
You got into a little like Beastie Boy cadence there.
That was. Yeah, you even kind of put.
What up, you dirty worms?
Wait, can you do that again, like in full sabotage mode?
Oh,
jeez.
I don't.
You're gonna mess up your voice.
I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but there's a One Puppet History song that is a full on Beastie Boys. It's pretty good.
I don't remember.
I think it's The Affair of the Poisons, and it is.
The Affair of the Poisons.
We're joined by the venerable TJ Marchbank today.
The Teach Monster.
Long time
Monster,
collaborator, a big part of Unsolved and Ghost Files, and a lot of Watcher stuff.
Yes.
In the early days.
Dear friend, you've been on all of our exciting adventures over the years.
Yeah.
We've gone through some treacherous experiences together. Fun to have you here. We've obviously over the years there's been a lot of behind the scenes stuff on Unsolved and Watcher where we've been chatting with you and you've been on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But nice to have a sit down.
Yeah.
A real sit down and dig into.
We've never done a sit down with all three of us at the same time. You've done a podcast with all three of us separately, right?
Yeah.
For your co-work podcast.
Yeah, co-work podcast, yeah. Which I put on pause for a while because I was making a movie. It was one of those things where like I could have dedicated a lot more time to the podcast, but at the same time inside my head was this movie that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And so I needed to like clear space. So I put the podcast on pause, but I'm going to remount it in the next
I'd love to see you mount that.
Jesus Christ, Ryan.
Speaking of the film, it's called The Other Guy.
Yeah,
that's
right. You can follow and it'll be out by the time this episode comes out.
No.
You just finished shooting.
I just finished shooting.
Congrats on
this
that, by
past
the way.
Saturday. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's called The Other Guy. We have an Instagram, Other Guy Film. If you want to go give
Other
it a follow.
Guy Film.
Other
Support
Guy
indie
Film.
films. Support indie filmmaking.
and indie filmmaking in Los Angeles. We shot it in LA, baby. Yeah, we just wrapped on Saturday. Very happy with it.
Past couple weeks, pretty easy time to shoot a thing in LA, probably, right?
Oh boy, it was with fires and wind, it was tough. We did lose a day of shooting, but other than like the unforeseeable things that were going to happen, January is actually a pretty good time to do an indie film because most of the industry is
not
on
shooting.
hiatus.
Yeah.
So a lot of my freelancer friends were available, and they don't usually have work in January. So it was
Now
nice to like
you got
give them
Wally
a job.
Pfister editing this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe TJ, you've actually come with a clip, right? Could we cue the clip up?
No.
Hey, it's me, the other guy. Oh, that's a good clip, TJ.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you so much.
It's just that Mac and me
Go check
clip
it out.
of your guy in the wheelchair.
Oh man, that's what I should have done.
Have you guys seen all of Mac and Me?
No.
That was a fixture for me growing up. I love
Mac and Me. Oh, same.
Yeah.
If any of you are familiar with the Paul Rudd trolling Conan bit. Actually, to tee this up though, I don't know if is this okay that maybe this is a little spoiler. Shane is in the film via puppetry.
Shane is in. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but not too much.
Okay,
like it's fine. Like we're gonna eventually post a picture, so it doesn't matter.
Which brings me to my question for you: is
what the fuck is this?
What
movie?
is this movie about? Because it seemed like a straightforward drama when I was watching the making of it. Because I've been following the making of it on Instagram, which is awesome.
Thanks, bud.
And then when I found out Shane was in it as doing puppetry, I was like, okay, I don't know what this movie's about. So
yeah, it's about a guy who suffers from paternal depression, which is a real condition, and a lot of dads suffer from this, and it's not really talked about. And so it's about this guy living through his life. He's facing unemployment, and he's kind of like at a crossroads because he used to be like a very creative person, but he's kind of taken these 9-to-5 jobs to help support his family.
Yeah,
but he's in like a good position with his life, but he's also like a very old school kind of thinking person where it's like, oh, I'm about to lose a job. I just have to jump right into another one to help support my family.
Yeah.
Even though like if he takes a step back, you'd realize that he's actually okay. And he could maybe like take a moment to do something for himself. But it's him kind of spiraling in this world, which pushes him farther and farther from actually going for what he wants. And he, with the support of his wife and his therapist and everybody kind of like trying to lift him up, and his friends like trying to show him and guide him the right way. It's less of like a coming of age story and more of coming to the realization of how to follow your dream story, like in your late 30s, early 40s. But yeah, you can just keep updates with it if you follow at Other Guy Film.
So the reason that TJ is here today specifically is because we're speaking with D-Tune about
D-Tune is a ghost hunter who live streams.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful guy.
D-Tune was speaking about being at the Bel Air house. And Shane asked him, did you order pizza while you were there? And there was a story that D-Tune had about them saying it was not pizza season, so he couldn't get pizza.
It's not pizza season.
It wasn't pizza season?
They called to order pizza and the person on the phone said it's not in season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Unfortunately, we didn't really get to the bottom of that because we spent about 15 minutes talking about our pizza story in the classic, like, I hear you have a story. Here's one.
Here's ours,
me. We told it and I was like, this is unfair to TJ because TJ's not here. And so
to defend myself?
We did. No, not to defend yourself.
we did cut it.
We cut a lot of it.
Okay.
So, and I was like, well, let's get TJ on. Let's talk about it. And also just, there's a lot of untold stuff from those.
We shot Unsolved with TJ for 6 years, essentially. Yeah. And that was that's countless trips and late nights together. So naturally you spend, I don't know, like an incalculable amount of time together. And of all that time, we always got along. Everyone, like the whole crew, always got along. It was always harmonious until one trip when Matt Rial came on the trip.
Now we're making it seem like that's a funny way to phrase it.
You're making it seem like Matt fucked up the vibe, and that's
I'm just kidding.
That's not what happened. We were, but that was the thing with the Unsolved crew is we always did. We were able to bring together a good vibe of people.
Well,
I think a big thing for us.
You amass a ton of goodwill on those trips because you don't shoot until the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of time together enjoying each other's company.
Walking around little towns.
And none of us are messy bitches.
Right.
A
lot of early morning walks to coffee shops with me and you.
No,
because you slept till 11. But Shane and I were the early birds. So
I don't know how you guys did that. That's crazy. After shoot, these guys are up and at 'em next. Well, you're up no matter what.
It's just my internal clock just gets me up.
Yeah, I remember sometimes we'd be in the elevator and you'd be like, I got an hour of sleep last night. Because we got back from the shoot at 4 a.m. and your internal clock was 5 or 6.
Yeah, we're gonna go off at 5:30 no matter what.
Oh my god.
Yeah, still does.
But you just get a lot of time to essentially vacation together.
Essentially, yeah.
During the daytime, and that's as fun as it can be, depending on the location.
Yes.
Sometimes you're in New Orleans and you're having a
great time.
You get to see a town you've never been before.
Sometimes you're in Bel Air, Ohio, where there's nothing to do. But
sometimes it's the pit of winter and you're at a Holiday Inn Express on the highway.
But we can go to a hibachi restaurant in the middle of a mall.
That was Ohio.
That was Ohio.
Fun.
You wanted to go into that karaoke bar too, but then
it was pretty dead.
You took 2 steps in there and you're like, nah, I'm good.
We went to Club Tej instead.
Yeah, Club Tej.
Which was when we would all get into a hotel room and just drink beer. RocketMoney.
Yeah. Their app has a new logo.
Does it?
They emailed me about it.
That's cool.
They said, hey, check out the new logo.
That's great news, RocketMoney.
Tell me if this sounds like you.
Okay.
You sign up for something. You forget about it after the trial period ends, and then you're charged.
No.
Month after month after month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. In fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Well, thanks to RocketMoney, I can see all my subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones I'm not using anymore. And now I'm saving more money.
Oh my God. RocketMoney is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
You see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, RocketMoney can help you cancel them. RocketMoney will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service, so you don't have to.
Oh, that's nice. RocketMoney has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features.
Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with RocketMoney. Go to rocketmoney.com/watcher today.
That's rocketmoney.com/watcher. rocketmoney.com/watcher.
One of my favorite memories on travels was when we were, the trip itself was quite a legendary trip, but we went to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Got in a snowstorm.
So we went to Salem, Boston, and then New Orleans.
Yeah.
But we were snowed in Salem.
Yes.
Yes.
And we had like a night to kill before we shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we were snowed in, and we were just.
Well, we tried to shoot that morning, remember? And then it started snowing.
Yes.
And we had to bounce out of the witch's house early.
Yeah. Some of us had more urgency than others in that TJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hucking the horn.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We shot at the witch house, and it started like blizzarding.
Uh-huh.
Granted, we were like less than a mile away from the hotel.
Sure.
And we had like a big SUV with 4-wheel drive. And I was like, oh, let's go get some beer.
Uh-huh.
And TJ was like, we got to get back to the hotel. And I was like, it's fine.
Right. It was less about that. We had stopped at like a convenience store to get like food, but in
supplies.
Massachusetts, they don't just sell beer anywhere. They only sell it in liquor stores.
Oh, is that one of those states?
So at least in Salem, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's statewide or not, but so we were at the convenience store. You guys were like, we're just going to walk down because there's a liquor store. I'm like, great. Okay, no problem. But as you were gone for fuck off ever. And the snow just kept piling up.
I want to say it was 15 to
it was
kept getting it. And the reason why I like had a freak out moment is because you guys still weren't back, and they started plowing the roads, and I could see the big pile, like mounds of snow on the side of the road blocking driveways. And I was like, if that plow gets to this fucking convenience store, like we're going to be stuck here for a minute.
That thing had 4-wheel
Also,
drive.
it was a legit whiteout.
It was a whiteout.
And
because you got behind the wheel from the witch's house.
But it had just started snowing. Even if they plowed, we could have.
No, it ended up being fine, but it was just my internal like,
I could see it.
We have to fucking go because now I'm becoming responsible for everyone. And
it's the classic intercutting of seeing the snow getting higher, and meanwhile Shane and I are like with the convenience store music,
like talking to the clerk.
Exactly.
Are there any good local brews?
I was literally looking at an IPA. I was like, "Do you think we should go IPA or a lager?" And then TJ through text messages, like, "Boys, come on, get back."
Yeah, it was rough. But I just remember from the witch's house because you did most of the driving, but you got behind the wheel and you just saw like through the windshield what the snow looked like. And I was like, I can drive in the snow, Ryan, if you don't want to do it. And you're like, no, I'm fine. You get behind the wheel. And for like 2 seconds you went, yeah, maybe you should drive.
Yeah,
like you didn't even like miss a beat.
I don't know snow like that.
Yeah. Shane and I grew up in that kind of stuff.
I was born in the snow. I guess I was born in May. It could have been snow.
I was born in January.
Yeah. It's your birthday today.
Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, TJ.
Happy birthday, TJ.
Thank you.
Not at the airing of this episode. TJ's birthday has passed.
It's over.
It's over.
Don't wish him a happy birthday in the comments. You have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
So a lot of trips, very fun. That trip was great.
Can we talk a little bit about what TJ did?
Yes.
On those, because I think this informs a lot of the stories that you're hearing about, like, we're late.
Yeah.
We need to.
I wasn't just an asshole.
No,
not just.
Not just. Yeah, not just. It wasn't my only job.
No, it was Unsolved was a small crew, so everyone was wearing multiple hats. So TJ was the first AD, which is the first assistant director, and then he also had to run sound because we were trying to get as many people in this haunted house as possible, because otherwise it's just a bunch of people and you can't tell what's a ghost and what's not.
There was one season where he was also on camera.
That was Devin was running sound.
Devin did sound.
He did camera and first AD.
And that was also because those were also the days before we had Katie on set with us.
Correct.
So because you were on camera, I was also acting as like faux director.
Yeah. And also that first shoot that you had to do that, I don't know if you remember this, my grandpa died 30 minutes before.
Was that the first shoot?
30 minutes before the shoot.
That's when we were up in the sand.
We were in Sonoma. It was the demon church.
Yes. We were.
Yep.
We had parked the car. At the location. We were unloading, and you got the call that your grandpa had died.
Do you remember what we were doing about 5 minutes before that?
Listening to Evanescence?
Yes, we were.
We were dancing to "Bring Me Back to Life" or "Bring That," whatever the fuck the name of that song is.
"Wake Me Up" is the chorus, but that's not what the.
And then I get the ring phone call, and I was like, I knew he was sick, so I was like, not now.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, TJ, let's do this episode.
We did that for a whole season. We went to Yuma. We went to Tombstone.
We went to that small like mountain. No. I'm thinking of Forest Fen.
Yeah, Forest Fen. But we had Mark for that one.
It's crazy because like Shane said, it's like vacationing together. So many of my travel, like really good travel memories, you guys are in them. It's so funny that like my quilt of experiences is more with you guys than my like friends that I grew up with, because we travel more together. Like I've seen most of America with you two more so than anybody in my life. Like I traveled more places with you two than more than anybody in my life. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, I've been to more places like around the world with the two of you than I have with my own wife.
Agreed.
And I've been with my wife for 15 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 6 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Especially for making 4 seasons a year. I mean, 2 of them, granted, were true crime. We were just sitting in the soundstage at Buzzfeed.
Right.
But yeah, no, some of the best memories I've ever had, including this one, which we're about to talk about at the Bel Air house.
So TJ assumed a lot of AD responsibility. He was the AD for the show.
Oh,
Talk a little bit about that, Ryan. Or TJ.
I'll try to describe it, and TJ could correct me, because first AD on like a movie set, their primary job is the safety, I would say, like a paramount, the safety of the crew, the cast,
and Fox and Sony. Sorry, continue.
Very good. And then I'd say with
safety is paramount,
because Paramount's.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So they're in charge of making sure that everything is run to code, but also the secondary thing I would say is they're in charge of the schedule and making sure everything stays on time so you don't go over budget. And TJ did both of those things for Unsolved. Those were, you're in these places. Sometimes the floors are condemned, or like it's like the air is bad to breathe. And TJ was always really on top of that. He would always have a safety meeting at the beginning, like, all right, watch your head, Shane, in this room. The clearing of the doorway is very small. You say that a lot. But another one of their small duties, I would say, is.
Did you just laugh at duties before you said it?
Before you said it.
Before you said it.
I didn't vocalize it. I can't help it. They are also, in turn of like keeping schedule, they are also responsible for calling when lunch is supposed to occur. Lunch occurs at like 6 hours into a shoot. Now for Unsolved, we're doing a ghost hunt, so it's kind of loosey-goosey, but still, you call lunch and you say, this is the time we're doing lunch, and then we're going to be back at a certain time. But
most Unsolved shoots, we didn't have.
We didn't really have lunch, but
we were always shooting. Like
but in this particular,
that also is why this story we're going to say is that.
I was wondering why you were bringing it. I was like, well, calling lunch, that's just part of the schedule.
But I was like, there's schedule in general.
Now I understand why you're pointing this out specifically.
There's a specific reason.
Yeah.
So how it works is they will call lunch. People get in line.
I want to give some context to the trip before we even get to.
But no, you got to establish this is the rule because the remark that cut to TJ's core, because who is a consummate professional.
Yes,
this is what upset him. So that you get in line, and the AD makes sure everyone gets through the lunch, and their job is to be last man. And they are ensure everyone has eaten, and that they could officially start the clock. Okay, I am now getting food. I'm the last man. Therefore, lunch starts at this time. be back in 30, 40 minutes.
To be fair, that's when you have a lunch that's less than an hour.
Exactly.
You do 30 minutes last man, which means the last man through, last person through. That's when you start the clock, when they've gotten their lunch. And it's supposed to be the first AD. Not a lot of people do that, but the first AD should be the last person walking through to make sure your whole crew has eaten and cast and everything has gotten their food.
That way everybody gets the allotted time, the required time.
Correct. At minimum, everyone has 30 minutes.
Last person, last man. That is a known phrase in the industry.
I wanted to talk about the trip a little bit more because the trip
let's talk about the trip.
In the way that, Jack Torrance was sort of driven mad.
The trip was very trying.
Overlook Hotel.
Sure.
This was, as I've said, some locations you go to, you're having the time of your life. Other times you're going to Buffalo, New York in February. Was this February? I want to say this was February.
I think you're right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, because we did Rolling Hills first.
Rolling Hills, as Matt previously stated, one of the coldest locations we've ever been.
It was colder inside than it was outside. We saw our breath inside the building.
Crazy.
We did not when we were outside.
And we had gloves and then the hot hand warmers in the gloves.
I had my winter coat and I got so cold still. I always, when we were always on set, I always had my rain jacket, my rain shell with me, just for anything like what we run into. And I had my winter coat, my gloves, multiple layers, and I still had to throw my rain shell over top of it.
It was so cold, he set his rain shell on fire.
Well, not to mention, too, you didn't have your gloves anymore because you gave them to me.
Yeah, that's true. I gave my gloves to you.
Yeah, and I remember that.
What a guy.
Very nice.
But once again, a shout out to the people at that place because the little break room that we had where we kept all of our stuff was so warm, and they had just the biggest, hottest pot of coffee, and I was so thankful. My memory of Rolling Hills when we pulled up, and maybe this is grown exaggerated in my mind, it was so cold and so windy, and it was not helped by the fact that it was like this building at a crossroads, and there was nothing as far as you could see. It was just flat land, nothing around except this building at this one intersection.
And there was no power,
wind,
right? There was no power in that building.
Really?
Right?
I think there was power in the one spot.
They
didn't have bathrooms. They didn't have bathrooms.
Yeah, we had to go out with our headlamps to the porta potty.
In the fucking hell. Also, just another table setting thing too. This is Rolling Hills Asylum. For Unsolved to save on time and budget, we would basically go to a place and then just get places nearby so that we could get multiple episodes on one trip. You don't have to pay for multiple trips of flying out. So the first stop was Buffalo for Rolling Hills Asylum. And then
the next stop, I think, was it Bel Air? Was that number 2? Because it was on that trip. It was
Bel Air because then it was Ohio Reformatory.
Yes.
It was all that. So that was all the same trip.
Now so Matt was on this trip as well. This was the pit of winter. It was freezing the whole time. Though at some point, I think toward the end, it started raining. And it was really lovely. I remember sitting in my hotel room.
And also, to get from location to location, we would drive.
We were driving.
So these are 3 to 4 hour drives, being in a van with each other. We're talking a lot.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot, and we were going through the state of Ohio, which is where you are from. Ohio.
Of you.
Ohio.
I remember fondly is the wrong word.
Ohio is a lovely state.
Ohio looks
in spring
is so beautiful in the spring and the summer, and even in the fall, it's beautiful.
Hey, Illinois is quite awful in the winter.
Yeah, in the dead of winter, Ohio looks like a dead wasteland.
A lot of those Midwest states, specifically from January to March, you just if it snows, it'll look nice for 6 hours. Then it's all brown sludge,
and
slop.
Because of the weather in Ohio, a lot of the times, it will snow, and then the next day it'll be 60 degrees, and all the snow will melt.
Then it'll freeze again.
And then it'll freeze. And then it's just the weather does this crazy wave. Yeah.
So it was rough going. And we mentioned this a little bit in the bit that got cut out, but now that you're here, we could talk about this. We're a group that we do a lot of ball busting.
We bust each other's balls.
In a fun way that you do with your friends.
Yeah.
Because I said, we have all bonded so much over these trips that nobody ever has their feelings hurt. And it's in a fun way, I think, generally. But because Ohio was so ruthless to us, and it was, we're in Ohio. That's all there is to really talk about.
We were also nearby too to TJ's hometown.
Well, not that close, but
No.
yeah, we passed adjacent.
Was this a trip where your parents met us real quick at the gas station?
My parents drove down to Mansfield.
I remember that.
and
They took you away.
We went. Yeah, we went and got dinner together, and then when I was coming back to the hotel, you all had like piled in the van and were like, "We're gonna go see a movie." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll come with you." And that's when my dad manhandled Matt.
He didn't lay hands on me.
Yeah, he popped over to the Holiday
that was
Inn.
really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad is a very like jovial Midwestern gentleman, and so like his joke was like, Matt was trying to get out of the car to like shake his hand.
I was standing up out of the van because I was raised with manners as well.
Yeah. And so, but because the thing is, your
Ryan and I just stayed in the van. We're like, "Hi, Mr. Marchbank."
Your Kentucky, like almost Southern manners met with my dad's Midwestern guilt. And so immediately my dad was like, don't get up, and like shoved you back in the car.
And I'm a small guy.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's not that big, but you were like, Ryan was like, your dad's like a linebacker. Like, it's definitely not.
He shoved me back in the car like you would put like a sweater in a backpack or something.
What movie was that? Game night? Did we see Game
went to
Night?
Game
I was
Night.
trying to remember what movie.
That was when Movie Pass was still a thing. We all had Movie Pass.
Oh, hell yeah.
The point is to say we went in too hard on TJ throughout the trip, and it was a thing where we didn't, I don't think, clock it because
he had to tell us.
Yes. Yeah.
You're saying that like you were like surmising that from the situation. He told us.
Well, he did
In the
eventually.
car.
Yeah.
TJ has always been great at packing the cars.
Uh-huh.
You're good at that.
He's a pack master.
You make.
I like
He's
doing
a
that.
pack man.
You make Tetris out of that trunk.
I do. I'm the friend that like if you need help moving, I will show up. I'll ask for just get me a coffee and a donut, and
don't make eye contact with me.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't speak to me.
He shows up like Mr. Wolf.
That's right. You turn your back and you'll pack your car.
I will stand to the U-Haul and you bring me everything, and I will make it fit.
And that's a very essential skill for these trips.
Yeah,
because we got a lot of stuff. We've got all Ryan's bullshit.
Yeah. We got it down to a science by the end of it.
Well, you did, certainly.
Everything is down to one Pelican for all the ghost gear.
But there was one morning we were packing up after the hotel, and I don't remember where on the trip this fell. But this was before you had spoken to us specifically about like, hey, ease up on me. But you were like packing the back, and everyone else had sort of gotten in the car. And I was like, you were really quiet that morning.
Yeah.
Look, we've all gone through stuff like this, so I hope that I'm not speaking.
It was after Bel Air. Yeah, it was.
I think it was the morning after. Right?
Yeah, we were getting ready to drive to Mansfield.
This follows what the story.
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't.
No, the pizza debate was probably like the cherry on top of everything.
Yes. And
I wasn't aware that it was anything but very funny to me.
You were very quiet, and you and I are chatty folks.
Yeah.
Even when like if other people are sort of grumpy or tired, you and I in the mornings are usually like,
yeah.
And I was like
Midwestern
chatting with you, and you were really quiet, and I was like still chatting a little bit. And I just remember you shoving a suitcase into the back, and you were like, "I don't fucking care, man." And I was like,
I remember that. Oh my God.
And I was like,
that actually like it shot a icicle of fear into my heart. And I was just like, oh fuck, man.
And I think I either got in the car before you got in or texted everyone aside from you and was
I like the idea of you just like turning away and see everybody.
And I was like, hey guys, I think we got to lighten up on TJ.
So this is me learning or reminding myself.
You didn't know all that?
I think I got in the car and told her. I was like, hey guys, I think TJ.
Well, here's the other thing is that TJ and I have a very
brotherly
relationship.
Yes.
We oftentimes worked in the same job, and when we were on set together, that meant that one of us didn't have to do that job. I was an AD as well for a lot of my career at Buzzfeed, and when TJ and I are on the same set, well, any AD can attest to this, that especially when you're traveling and you're not the one in charge, it's immediately like, thank fuck, hands off. I'm going to be more relaxed than maybe normal because someone else is in charge of this. And so
but add on the brotherly thing between me and you. Not only are you more relaxed, but now you're going to give me more shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Men, if you've lost your hair, it doesn't mean you can't find it again. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions, and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who found theirs, again, right on top of their dang heads.
Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch.
You know, Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months.
Wow, you could choose from personalized, chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you.
The process is simple and 100% online, so there are no uncomfortable doctor visits where you got to go, I think I might be bald.
Yeah. Answer a few questions and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free.
And no insurance is needed. And one low price? Well, it covers everything from treatments to ongoing care.
So start your free online visit today at hims.com/watcher.
That's HIMS.com/watcher for your personalized hair loss treatment options.
That's right, hims.com/watcher. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
So here's the thing about TJ, and the thing about me, and the thing that why this doesn't necessarily go the smoothest is you show frustration quickly, and I think that's funny. I also show frustration, so I certainly see it, and so
it is definitely easy. I will say I am much better about it, but that's medication and therapy. But definitely in those days, and still on occasion, it is very easy for my goat to be gotten, for sure.
Yeah.
And knowing someone very well, you know exactly the buttons to press.
And now I'm specifically remembering that when we got back in the car, I don't know who explicitly, someone apologized. And Matt, I think it was you, because I remember you specifically putting your hand on TJ's shoulder.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry if we've been, teasing you a little bit too much.
Wow.
And TJ, which is totally understandable when you're like frustrated about something, you were a little like, don't worry about it. And you were still clearly kind of like, and then like over the course of like 20 minutes, you kind of like shook it off and we were all good again.
I wish we were telling this in the inverse, because that's me being good.
Yeah.
And now we're going to tell me.
Now let's end on a note.
We're going to tell my alphabet story about it.
We're working backwards.
Though. Like, I think this is a very common thing that every group of friends can relate to. There's nothing worse when you're in a group of friends and you all bust each other's balls, and like every group of friends does. There's nothing worse than realizing, oh, I went too far and I hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, sure. And now, you're right. I guess that's better, because when you all were talking about like him being frustrated, I would feel like I forgot about a lot of that. I only remember the story being really funny to me.
But you were also you were the one who made the point to be like, I need to apologize to TJ.
That's perfect. Okay, now I'm glad we did this in verse. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you listen to what happened.
And now let's get into it.
It's a weird thing, because then there's the recovery period of like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's like, all right, we're back to normal.
And also, like, if you're the person who's really frustrated or was like hurt by something, I don't know if it's toxic masculinity to just be like you almost don't want to admit like that apology means something to you.
No.
You're like, yeah, thanks.
Well, here's the thing, and I've been through this, especially in the last year when tensions were high, about being like, I know that if they knew that I was frustrated, they would do something about it and they would clear it up. And then you go, so I don't want to make it a thing. Yeah. Because you're like, I trust cosmically, I know that we're all okay, and we would be had we done something about it. Yeah. But it still is like, you're trapped in that thing where it's like, I want to say something. I want it to be known that I'm frustrated. I don't want them to do anything about it, because then it
becomes a thing.
I don't want to make it a thing. I don't want more attention put on me.
Yeah.
and make my, it's funny because I wrote a whole fucking movie about this, make my problems your problems.
Right. Sure.
And so it's that stubbornness of like, now I'm in this frustration, almost depressive kind of state. Yeah. And I don't want to make it any more because I know that I can like just like let myself out of it.
Which that sucks though, because then you're basically invalidating your own feelings.
Yeah.
Which is like, because like even Matt and I got into a dust up earlier, a couple months ago, and I had to apologize to him.
I mean, you and I have gotten into dust ups.
I think we've all gotten in dust ups with each other.
Shane and I did recently. I remember once
Shane and I have ever gotten in one.
Me and Shane got into the only one I could think of.
Is it the same one I'm thinking of?
Is it the plane?
Yeah.
Oh God, what's this?
I was. We were going on tour. Was it the tour?
It was one of these tours.
Yeah, because it was when we got into Portland or Seattle.
Yeah, I think it was Portland.
We'd flown to Portland, and I fell asleep on the plane. And I have this weird pet peeve.
I did not know this.
Ryan did not know this. I have this weird pet peeve where I think it's really mean to take pictures of people when they're asleep.
Oh yeah.
Especially on a plane, because there's like no good way to sleep on a plane. You usually
that's because we used to take pictures of Ryan all the time when we fall asleep.
That's why I was like, this is fair game.
I mean, I never did that of you.
No. In Shane's defense, he didn't. But I did.
But the thing is, I don't care. Like, I don't have that pet peeve. Everyone has their own little pet peeve. So I just naturally assumed he didn't have that pet peeve.
But I remember you. I know that about you because I remember specifically funny, like we just talked about the Boston trip. Like when we were flying out of Boston,
I was asleep at the airport.
ready to go to New Orleans. I mean, it was on St. Patrick's Day and we had all been drinking that morning.
Hell yeah.
And Ryan just fell asleep at the airport. And so we were like, and we just like kept taking pictures. Because it was like a full on like.
And you're next to me too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
It's a pretty funny picture.
Yeah.
But either way, I did not know Shane had this pet peeve. So I took a picture, I posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was was quiet. Like really quiet. I said something to him after when we landed and he was just like, And I was just like, and he'd never done that to me before. And I was like, whoa, this is spooky.
You were like,
also, Sarah texted me and she was like, does Ryan know you don't?
Dude, that's so funny. So she found out because and then I was like, oh my God, I think he's upset at me. And I had that horrible pit in my stomach. And I was like, hey man, I don't know if something happened or something, but then you were like, I don't like when people take pictures of me when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And then I had to be like, I'm very sorry. I'll delete it right now.
I don't know what it is.
That's fair. I mean, it's.
I mean, it's one thing to take the picture and like maybe show him afterwards, but to like take it and without his knowledge, post it on the internet.
You posted the picture of me in Boston.
I 100% did not until after you already saw it.
And then
I mean, I didn't care.
Then
exactly. That's why I posted it.
I think also then like. I was already kind of mad about it. And then Katie came up to me and she was like, look at all these pictures we got. And there were like people. She was like, people on the plane were laughing.
Oh my God. Oh man.
And I was like, cool.
Just like livid. Yeah.
And that was the same thing. Like you apologized and I was still like pretty raw from it. And then like we went to eat a burger and I was like, all right.
I do remember thinking like, is he okay now? Okay.
Yeah.
But this is that thought. Are we okay now?
Yeah.
Shane holds a lot of things very close to the vest as well, which is tough.
True. Yeah.
But this is when friendships and relationships are like galvanized in a wonderful way. When you go, okay, I have a thing with this person. This is our put up or shut up moment. How good of a friendship do we have? Because sometimes, unfortunately, that stuff dissipates and you go, oh, well, we're irrevocably harmed here. Yeah. And that's never going to be fixed.
But in like a silent kind of like non-active way, which is like the saddest part.
Yes.
Neither of you acknowledge it, but there's a closeness lost there if you don't.
Everybody's thinking of someone in their head.
I know.
Oh yeah.
But no, I can't stand it. I can't.
It drives me insane, especially the anxious thing where it's like I would even if they didn't want to fuck with me anymore, would love some closure.
Yeah.
I need to make amends.
Yeah, but when you get those people that you go, oh, we've been through something, and we've resolved it, and we've shared each other's feelings, and now we're stronger as friends. That's the closeness that's really, really nice to have.
It's a good way to table set this pizza story. honestly.
Yeah.
Really, it really is. I'm glad we did this first.
It is. Yeah. No, it's good.
It's like that bad.
How much further can we build this up?
I know. Yeah, we can get into it. Because now it sounds like I did a horrible thing.
I was just sort of
something that's pretty funny.
I was just sort of a spectator in this whole thing. So this isn't quite as solidified in my brain as it is probably all of yours. So
I wasn't there either. The only reason why I noticed because my GoPro was rolling.
Yeah, we were just.
Was it just us in the room? You all were there.
No, we were there. I remember silently standing and just being like, "Oh fuck, this is going
Ryan
down."
and I were the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of this story.
Because you guys we were setting up for you to sit at that
the
seance.
Was the pizza part of the bit?
It was. We had never. I think for some reason we just didn't eat before this one.
Well, normally we wouldn't.
No,
you go to the set or you go to the house. Mm-hmm. And then you shoot it out, and then we get like Taco Bell afterwards.
Exactly. Well, sometimes we would do a dinner before.
Dinner before, but even if it's 6 hours, dinner before, food after.
Yeah. At a certain point,
we wouldn't break in between. Correct. We'd do like a meal after, a meal before, and a meal after, or one or the other.
Last thing you want to do is take a break at 1 a.m.
But I recall on this trip though, I think we didn't have enough time to eat dinner before this one for some odd reason, and we found out they delivered pizza.
Right.
So we were like, we got to get the pizza delivered before they close, because I think they closed at a certain point in the night. And so we filmed the part of us getting the pizza.
This is all making more sense now.
And we had the pizza while the shoot was happening, and Shane and I knew we could have that pizza later when we're here alone.
And then we were like, oh, this will be a funny bit to order pizza to a haunted house in the middle of an episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, now I can set this up because now I'm understanding where the friction came from. So at that point, he's
finally understood it.
No. About how we got. I know what I did.
And 8 years later.
But so the pizza that you get, because it's not to be feeding everybody, it's just to be a bit. So you all wanted a pepperoni pizza. That's what we ordered.
Yes. Ryan and I have big pet peeves about when. And
you're going to bring this in? You're going to grind that
I will bring this up.
You're going to grind that X now?
Was this Texas? Was it Seguin, Texas?
It was Texas, Seguin, Texas, yes.
Seguin, Texas. Look.
You're still holding this, dude.
We like pepperoni. We like pepperoni.
Mm-hmm. We do like pepperoni. We're pepperoni boys. We're pepperoni pals.
And my biggest concern always with pizza is that when you're with a group of people, number one, order more than you think you need.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. If you're not sure about it,
order another one.
Yeah. Because the worst thing is when there's not enough pizza.
It's bad.
But
also that's magnified too when you don't have enough pizza on set. Because and people, there's
when
another.
You don't have enough pizza.
Well, another thing to like. This is like. Well, the thing is like in set when you sometimes if you're going over, you'll do something called second lunch. You have to give the crew another lunch, and almost all the time that's pizza because it's the only thing open at that time.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes they run out of
cheaper.
food. Yeah, and it's cheaper.
But that's when you hit your second 6 hour block. Yeah.
When we were in Seguin, Texas, we were ordering pizza, and all I know is a faction of the crew was like, "Let's get some Hawaiian," and we were like, "Okay, well, let's maybe get some extra pepperoni too." And they were like, "No, we'll do like pepperoni, some Hawaiian, some cheese,
and the cheese." Yeah,
and we were like, "Okay." And Ryan and I especially were like, "Well, okay, but don't eat our pepperoni."
I personally said, I'm not interested in the cheese. I'm not interested in the Hawaiian. All I want is the pepperoni. So as long as we have enough pepperoni, that's fine. Because if you guys, all you cheese and Hawaiian folks, you want to eat your cheese and Hawaiian pizza, go for it. Just don't take from my pepperoni. Yeah. I'm not going to have any of that.
Ryan and I are pepperoni guys.
Which is fair because you said, I mean, I wasn't there for this one, but like from hearing the story, you made your claim.
And we were like, hey,
you are
if you
not
like
going
pepperoni,
get
raise
another
your
one.
hand.
Yeah.
Because we're raising our hands right now.
Yeah. So it's like you clearly stated you were not going to eat the other two pizzas being ordered. You're only going to do the pepperoni.
Exactly right, TJ.
So what happens is we order pepperoni.
We order
one pepperoni.
One pepperoni.
One Hawaiian.
That's already
one cheese.
Necessary for disaster.
And these show up while we're setting up.
This is
a separate pizza.
This is Ghost Files. This is Seguin, Texas. This is more pizza context.
I love that
we'll get to the fireworks factory.
Within Unsolved and Ghost Files,
I was going to say there was certainly not a cheese in the story that I'm.
Oh my God! You'll understand while we're groaning later.
But to get to this other axe that, frankly, we're still grinding.
I'm done with this. You seem to be not done with this.
I'm never done with this.
It seems like you shouldn't be. Continue.
So we ordered these 3 pizzas. They arrive while we're setting up. So people are kind of like milling about, eating the pizzas, you know, getting stuff, going on, you know, going exploring the rooms, getting a lay of the land. All I know is that Ryan and I mean, we maybe had 1 or 2 pieces of pepperoni. And at one point, we went back to the room and opened up that box of pepperoni, and it was gone.
Damn.
How much of the cheese in the Hawaiian?
The entire thing.
Oh, brother. There was so much cheese in Hawaiian. And I'll never forget it.
That was real.
And I'll never forget it.
I hope you don't cut that out. That was real dead air.
That was me that
was real dead air.
That was me just being appalled and speechless at what occurred there. And we tried to and everyone quiet. When we start everyone trying to find the witch of the room. And there were many witches in that room that day. And let's hear it. Let's hear the witches in the room.
Okay.
And I will. I'm not going to say who was the leader of the cheese tribe.
It was Lizzie Lockard.
Okay, no, I wasn't going to say it.
I was about to say, was it Lizzie?
When we'll have her on to talk about Watcher's own pizza.
Everybody's got to have.
The thing is, I will say this:
Watcher's own pizza game. I don't know about that one.
I don't know if you were thinking this because I was thinking this. Because there's nothing worse than like, first off, it's late. We're all hungry and we're like, oh, we're being saved by this pizza. We'll have something for the night. Thank God to power us through this shoot. And then went to open up an empty box after you'd explicitly stated, I can't eat any of the other ones because I don't like it.
I almost screamed.
Can I
no, but here's the thought that went in my head. Here's the thought.
And not like angrily. I almost went
like a Kevin McAllister, like Home Alone scream,
like a shriek,
like a munch scream,
like Bruce Wayne's mother being shot.
I thought in my mind, the first thing I thought was like, okay, that's unfortunate. I can't voice this concern because I don't want to be seen as like the fucking diva.
You didn't think you could voice, and meanwhile, I was like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah, Shane's over there just screaming at people,
and I was so sad. And I was like, whatever. But I was
now you kind of put yourself in the mind of where I was.
Okay. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question about before we get to the reason why I'm here?
You're here because we love you, and we finally have a reason to bring you here.
No, and that's lovely, and I appreciate it. With this pizza debate,
thanks. Yeah.
And I'm not pointing blame or whatever. Why was the reason that you got when you pitched to get another pepperoni pizza? And they just kind of shot it down and said, no,
because they wanted cheese and they wanted Hawaiian.
Right.
So 4 would have been too many.
4 would have been too many pizzas?
That's, I think, what the thought was.
Maybe that's the thought. But they also claimed that they liked cheese and Hawaiian more than pepperoni and would not want pepperoni.
I mean,
I thought, well,
I don't
are
mind
you sure?
cheese, and I'm one of those people that doesn't mind a Hawaiian, but nothing is going to beat a pepperoni. If there's a pepperoni pizza on the table, I'm going to go for the pepperoni.
Ryan and I think this is true of you as well. Anytime I go to a new pizza place,
it's the litmus test.
Try the pepperoni pizza.
You got to try the pepperoni.
Yeah. It's like when I go to a tiki bar, I try a painkiller.
You try a painkiller. You try pepperoni and a painkiller.
Unless, of course,
you're vegan or vegetarian.
You don't eat meat.
That's true. Yeah.
And that, I think, is clearing the way for us to now discuss.
I can't believe you aired that out, dude.
Tale of the Bel Air House.
That's crazy.
Yes, yeah. The worst thing to happen there.
The worst thing ever to happen at the Bel Air House.
We also shot a show.
Yeah.
So we got that was Apple Tater.
Who wants to tell this story? Who should?
Okay, I
think Matt needs to tell it first.
I'll get. Yeah, I think I'll tell my portion of it, and then I'll stop when I think someone might need to check in.
Maybe you first and you second.
I will try my best not to interrupt and get.
No. You can interrupt.
No, I think Matt has the conch. You tell your version of the event.
Rashomon.
And TJ, you tell your version of the event.
There are going to be elements that I forget. So, but talking about the pizza and the ingredients thereupon and how much of it there was and why it was there and the lunch and how that works. We're not taking a break. Blah blah. And everybody being hungry already. Because I remember a lot of popcorn or granola bars or whatever.
We had the Nature Valley.
You gotta
really
eat
dry
that
ones.
shit.
Yeah.
They had beers there for us too.
Crumbs everywhere.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did have beers, but
they were expired.
They were expired, but they were good.
So
we try not to drink while we were shooting, though. I need to preface that.
No, we didn't drink while we were shooting. No, there were after the shoot is done.
Yes.
All right. So the singular pepperoni pizza arrives, and
that I gotta say that's not enough.
No, but it wasn't intended to be a meal,
right?
And that's the important thing.
I see.
It was not intended to be a meal. It was supposed to be a prop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It arrives. And then we're setting up for the seance in that dining room, and I'm hungry, and everybody's hungry.
Everybody's hungry.
Wait, did it have anything to do with the seance? Did we need food for the seance?
No, it was just a matter.
It was just okay.
It was a bit.
It was a bit, and they were going to close at a certain time.
Yeah.
Did we have food for the seance?
Aren't
you supposed to usually have food?
I think we had some sort of
I don't think it's
treat.
necessarily food. I think it's just an offering. Of
Yeah, I don't think there was. So we're setting up. The room is TJ, as I remember it, goes, "Oh, I'm a little hungry. There's pizza here. I'm going to grab a bite or grab a slice." Fair. I think everybody might have had a slice.
Okay, can I interject on this one?
Because I don't remember this one.
So I had asked them, I was like, how much pizza do you guys actually need?
Right, for the bit.
And they were like, we really only need like a slice each and we just need to see the box.
Yeah.
Well, we sure needed you in Texas. And if you had asked us that, we would have said a whole box.
And I said, okay, great. And I turned to you and Devin, who were the other two people on set.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, they only need just like make sure we don't eat too much. But if you're hungry, let's eat the pizza. I put the offer out.
Sure.
Continue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Continue.
That's all nice and good, but I don't eat meat.
Yeah. Right.
And so I was like, well, I can't really eat that. And then, so everybody else was eating. Everybody who wanted, all ashore who's going ashore, except for me, who can't fit on the boat, in my mind, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, this is actually,
and if we were actually planning to do a real meal, we would have like taken that into account that you don't eat meat.
Sure, yeah.
It wasn't like Matt doesn't eat meat. Fuck him. We're all getting a pepperoni pizza.
Let me ask you a question because I think it needs to be clarified. It is my understanding that this situation, as you just explained it, you were annoyed by, but you really weren't upset. You were just like, whatever. And
no, and I was gaslit into being like, I'm being a little bit dramatic about this. And I was like, I'll show you dramatic.
No. But I think it's important to state that you weren't really upset, but there is a Cheshire Cat quality to you.
Yes.
Where you could see there was
it's happening right now.
There's a button to be pushed. It's right by your finger. It's hovering over it. I'm going to push that button.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But, okay. So we're talking. I go, okay. Well, yeah. I guess everybody else can have some pizza then, and then I'll be the first to admit it. TJ goes, well, why don't you just take the pepperoni off? And I don't want to do that. Because I don't want to eat the meat juices that are slopped all on the cheese pizza.
Yeah, and that's fair. And like some vegetarian and people that don't eat meat that I know like are okay with just like it just not being present, and other people don't want any kind of cross contamination at all.
Yeah, and I don't mind if and
I didn't have that knowledge.
But it's and the thing is here, and I say that I'm vegan. I'm kind of 99% vegan. I don't make
You eat hot dogs every day.
Hot dogs every day. I'm up to 45 this time of this recording.
I mean, but is a hot dog really meat? Let's just be honest.
That's my argument with the McRib.
Also, too, the prelude to this is the tip of the iceberg of tension. We had been going in on each other this entire trip, this whole week, and it had led to this moment. So TJ was
this was
I wasn't fully aware of it.
Yeah, and this was just 12 plus hours into Ohio.
Yeah.
And like, we're talking the moment we left Buffalo. So Buffalo, New York. Look up how long that drive is from Buffalo, New York to Bel Air, Ohio.
To give some context, which I think, I remember one of the bits being that, we don't want to drive too close to your hometown because Ryan said the Marchbank clan would start running alongside the van
with a double barrel shotgun,
throwing clods of mud at it, wearing flannel and jeans.
Yeah.
And no shoes.
And the other bit that I remember, and I mean,
Ryan still thinks this is so hilarious.
The other bit that I remember, and
objectively funny.
If this, I know that this is not true, but I remember you telling us a story.
No, this is okay. I know where you're going with this. He was not making it seem. He was telling a story that was nice and I think true.
Yes,
and then we took it upon ourselves to make it seem like he was bragging in a false way.
You guys,
TJ, you were telling us a story about how you were talking about an ice cream shop in your town.
Oh
and
God, with the George special.
The George special. Your dad would go there regularly and have a special order.
Yeah, country cones in Canton, Ohio.
And then he would go there and he ordered it so often that they just put it on the menu as the George special. Or they would call it the George special.
They called it the George special.
Yeah.
So not everybody would like walk up to it, but like people who knew my dad would say like the George special and they would know.
By the way, can you get us that recipe? I'm curious what it is.
I mean, I can find the country cones is under new ownership now, so I don't think that they
don't honor the George special.
Honor the George special. I'm
curious what the George special.
In fact, my dad goes to a different ice cream shop now.
Whoa.
Silent protest.
Yeah. But as you told us that, and it's a very sweet, charming story, and we were all just like, "Oh, sure." I bet they roll their eyes when he were. Oh, sure. Here's the George.
We did. Yes, we fabricated a reality in which TJ was lying. TJ's dad was lying to him about it.
Yeah,
and that TJ's dad was. And now I'm like seeing like, okay, now TJ is forced to defend his own family member from attacks from
and this
assholes.
Was before you met my dad.
I think
this was days before my dad even came and met you guys.
Matt, I think you also said at that point too, he was like, oh, I bet you when he goes to get his oil change, they give him the George special there too. Or like,
that sounds pretty good.
yeah, like, oh, they're just doing the oil in his car and he's like, oh, that's the George special.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we recount
you guys are like, no,
and we're like, I stand by that. I think it's a good bit.
That's a good one. That's a good
bit.
Yeah. Fuck you guys.
But all of it together was a snowball.
It was too much. It was too much.
Just kept because it kept fucking going.
Well, the problem is they kept laughing.
If the audience is loving it,
I don't know what to do, man.
There was never a fucking break.
And also, like, as I was saying, we needle each other with these things a lot. But because we were just in Ohio, it was like, well, what are we going to joke about? Ohio and TJ's family.
Right, exactly. That was because we like I was saying, the moment we left Buffalo and we were driving to Ohio, it began because we were about to go into Ohio, which like does not look any different than Buffalo, and in some cases may look worse.
Yeah, and you were laughing with a lot of it too. Is the thing
for the first like 90 minutes? Yeah.
It's fair. It's certainly, I apologize. It's certainly like
it's fine. Oh my, I'm still holding on to it. No, I don't.
It's certainly one of those things where it's like, this person is in our group. We make fun of him. A new person comes into the group. And starts to go, oh, this guy? And you go, no. I'm from Ohio. I can say that.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of bullying.
So TJ tells you can take the pepperoni off.
Yeah.
I was on a shoot with Matt where when we were at the ranch house for Home Buddies.
Oh my fucking God. I wasn't vegan at that time. I was vegetarian.
I know you were vegetarian. Yeah. We were at a ranch house for another shoot, BuzzFeed shoot, and the lovely woman who lived there made us breakfast every morning, which is really great.
And very nice.
And she made eggs one morning with sausage inside of the eggs, like mixed in. And she said to him as she like plopped it down on his plate, she's like, there's sausage in it, but there's plenty of room for you to eat around it. And there was more sausage than egg. Dude, and at one point I look over at Matt and just like the saddest thing. I don't know if you guys remember like the old, I don't know if it's from like Disney Christmas Carol or whatever it is, like the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol, where he's actually cutting the bean.
The bean. Yeah.
This is what it fucking looked like. I looked over and I see Matt Rial trying to scrape egg off of a piece of sausage.
Egg on meat is like they're married. They're
just
inseparable.
Like he was trying to eat, but it was rough. Anyway,
but it's like pulling the symbiote from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I do want to say the reason why I brought up the prelude to that is because when TJ said you could just take the pepperoni off, it was a testy delivery. He was like, you could just take the pepperoni off. Like, and that felt like it came out of nowhere, but it didn't. It was the buildup.
No, it was a lot of buildup. Yeah.
And there's a little bit more back and forth with the pizza stuff, and I don't remember specifically, but it was like, you can just, why don't you just take the pizza? Do you want to just take the pepperoni off? No, I don't really want to take the pepperoni off. And then I would just wait for a minute.
Don't we have a recording?
We
of
do.
This?
There is, but we don't. I don't think we have.
We
it,
don't
right?
have BuzzFeed.
No, we
has
don't.
it.
BuzzFeed has it.
So, but Matt, you were like joking, but it was coming off as extremely passive aggressive.
It was
Matt. What?
Yeah, it's hard to get in the mindset of.
In that instance, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think people who know you, which isn't to say that people who don't know you think you're passive aggressive all the time, because you're a really nice, friendly, like chatty guy.
Thank you.
But specifically, like when you're like joking with people, you've got a great poker face. So like when you know Matt well, you know like the extent of his bits. And
I would even say that I've had a camera on here for a couple episodes. The audience would understand this.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I definitely do deliver things without
Thinking.
no. I deliver things and then sometimes I won't laugh at it or even smile or even suggest it.
Yeah.
And you've got the mustache also.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah.
Which hides the expression.
So it was back and forth. Like, could you just take the pepperoni off? I'm sure it was offered as a question first. Well, I don't really want to do that. Okay, well then the situation that I've designed for myself is I'm not going to eat pizza, right?
Yeah.
But I want to eat pizza, and so it's this perfect thing where like I would love to complain. I don't want anything really done about it. It's just fun to complain, and then it goes back and forth between TJ and I. And then what tipped it was we talked about the last man thing.
The last man.
I go, well. But it's but last man, right? Like, so I haven't eaten, so you shouldn't be eating.
Well, because I did.
Food was off.
I did. Devin grabbed a piece.
Yes.
You had turned down the pizza, so I took a piece of pizza.
Yeah. No. Yeah. If you had been eating and you had done that, making sure that there was food available. And then so it was me going. I think it had smoldered for a bit. We had kind of gotten up in the energy, and then it had smoldered for a bit. We're in complete silence, and then I just go, "Yeah, but last man."
I remember that so clearly.
Which I think I know for a fact that I knew this was going to result in because
of course you did.
At this point, I'm attacking one of the most important things to TJ, which is his professionalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we all know him as the consummate professional. So you knew it was going to go right to the fucking vein.
And then after that, I don't really remember what I think happened.
I don't remember specifically what TJ said, but I remember when he responded to you, his mouth was full of pizza.
I think it was something along the lines of, well, then eat the fucking pizza.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But you could fucking pepperoni.
You can take the pepperoni off.
And then and another thing that's important about this is that this room is pitch black.
Yes. It's pretty dark. Yeah.
It's dark. Super duper dark. So
we got two candles lit on the table.
Meanwhile, Mark Celestino silently setting up cameras.
And Ryan and I were just sitting at the table, like watching a
that's what I love is like Mark is just like the silent like fly on the wall of all of this. Just like
I'm confident Mark doesn't even remember this even happening. He's just like.
So what I had done at that point is after the last man thing. I do remember this I had just set up this incredible set of dominoes and I flicked them and they start falling and I just get to sit there in the dark while all of this happens and like it's so much better to argue with someone when they can't see your face, especially if you're because it's just like I know that I was smiling. I don't think I was laughing because that would have
when you delivered.
I definitely was not.
You
smiling.
had a smirk after the last man, and I don't know if that's what set you off because you went, but last man, and then and there was a little smirk peeked out, and I don't know if that's what set you.
I didn't see the smirk.
I saw the smirk.
I did not see a smirk. It was.
I do think that TJ's because he's so professional. I do think that you had to be aware that I was fucking with you.
I don't think he did.
To a point, yes, but it was like again, it was the pile on top of all the the shit that had already been built on the drive. Yeah,
and I don't think I mean, I think we sort of diffused. It wasn't like it sort of was like a little moment of aggression.
It got pretty heated.
It got pretty heated, man. I don't know if you remember this.
But I don't think it resolved
there,
which is why the next morning.
Well, because we both got back to work immediately.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but we didn't really talk if we weren't so like close and our friendship was not strong, a weaker friendship wouldn't have lasted past that.
No, but also I wouldn't have done that to someone.
True.
I'm not a nightmare.
Also, I don't know if you recall how we diffused it, but it was about like 15 or so deliveries of Shane and I going, hey guys, hey guys, come on. Like, just like it's fine. Like, well, let's just, and then I think you guys both
temporarily
realized, okay, let's just put a pin in this.
But then it wasn't until the next morning with the trunk and getting in the car that I think we sort of were like, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're missing the thing where, yes, I had offered to Matt multiple times to just like eat the pizza, take the pepperoni off. He's not telling me like that he doesn't want to take the pepperoni off or that he doesn't want the meat juices. He's not sharing any of that information with me. And I'm like, you need to eat. So that's what irritated. Then he just kept fucking like poking me.
I know that I definitely did say, yeah, but I don't want to eat, I don't want to take it off.
You did say I don't want to take it off, but I didn't understand
you stayed in that exact volume.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think you were like, I don't want to.
Yeah. So we wrapped.
No, I don't want to.
So basically, after like the everything swelled up and it got heated, and we finally we didn't really calm down, but we just like stopped talking to each other and we just like did the shoot. You guys stayed the night.
Yes, we did,
and we
in
left.
In the attic.
It was really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And
I recall even talking about this with him.
Yeah, we were like, damn, that was fucking crazy.
It's me, Matt.
Do they hate
Mark,
each other forever now?
Yeah, me, Matt, Mark, and Devin in the car ride back.
Oh yeah, how was that?
And we're driving back, and there's nothing being really said. And as we're getting off the highway to our exit to get to the hotel, there's like a Taco Bell to the corner, and we're pulling off, and I'm driving, and I'm pulling off into the highway, and just very silently from the back seat, Matt just goes, "Can we stop at Taco Bell?" It's like 3:00 in the morning. It's the only place open, and I was like, "God damn it! You gotta be fucking kidding me with this."
Well, I was hungry because I didn't get it.
So I was like,
why were you?
Just it wasn't like I wasn't mad that like he wanted to eat. Obviously.
You thought he was needling a little more.
Yeah, because it was this whole thing, and I was like, you could like.
When does the bit end?
Yeah, did
you get anything from Taco Bell? Did you get a beef burrito?
We stopped. I mean, we actually all got food. Well, that was the thing. We all went through. We went through the drive-through. Devin like put it on like the budget, for like a crew meal because we didn't really get a crew meal that night.
Yeah.
Not all of us.
And I got.
Oh my god, bro!
He's doing it right now.
I know. Well, that's why, because he's about like this is why, because he probably remembers. We go through the drive-through. Mark gets something. Devin gets something. And Matt gets something, and I'm like looking at the menu, and Matt said something along the lines of like, "Oh, the pizza wasn't enough for you," and I was like, "Fuck you!" So I just didn't order anything because I was like, "Fuck you! No, I'm done. I'm done." And so I was, and then like Devin's like, "You really don't want anything?" I was like, "No, fuck it, I'm done."
Did you want something in your heart though in that moment?
Yeah, of course. It's like Taco Bell.
Yeah,
that's so. I didn't know this because like.
Yeah, it was the final like cherry on top of the whole evening.
Cut to Shane and I in sleeping bags in the attic, going, "That was crazy."
Yeah. And meanwhile, it is continuing on in the drive-through line of a Taco Bell at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Look, okay, I'll accept which of the room. I'll accept which of the room for this particular instance, and now I'm absolved of guilt.
You know what? The
self-proclaimed.
I'll tell you what, though. The morning after that,
what are you doing on your phone?
He's looking for photos from the trip.
Oh, okay. All right.
What was that? 2018?
February of 2018.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, because it was right after Piper had his emergency surgery. My cat almost died.
You also had that going on.
Oh my God, you're right.
That's right. So that was on top of that shit.
You knew that.
Yes, you did.
I wasn't thinking about it.
Matt even whispered to me, he's like, his cat just had surgery. Check out what I'm gonna say.
I said, watch this.
This will get the blood moving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Piper had emergency surgery. He almost died. Yeah.
We went to Cracker Barrel the next morning. Then we were in that little I can't remember when we went to the mall. I think we went to the mall the day after that too, and we all had a nice hibachi.
That's when
dinner.
I got
that was the first night. That was the first night we got to the area because the next night was.
Yeah, I think he's right.
I thought the mall was closer to
Oh, maybe the mall was close.
Ohio
to Mansfield.
Reformatory.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right.
after.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, no,
and
you're right.
now let's give me my flowers. You got a hat at that mall.
I did.
And that
Yeah,
you were on the fence about.
I got a Cleveland hat. Yeah.
And who told you that you looked great in that hat?
You did.
Oh my God, I
You
remember
did.
that.
Yeah. You did.
And I'm not telling tales. I think it's one of your favorite hats.
It is. I mean, it continues to be. I wanted that block C hat, and I loved it. And I already had one that was the blue hat with the red C, and this was a red hat with the navy blue C, and it was pretty dope. But yeah, I was on the fence, and Brielle was like, "You look good in the hat." There it is.
And
There's
it
the
does
hat.
look good in the hat.
There's the hat.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it.
that's
That's the pizza story.
one of my favorite photos from any of our trips. I don't know why I love this so much.
Oh, is this a convenience store photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all four of us on a
Oh,
miserable
yeah.
in Ohio. Someone drew this at some point.
think
Yeah,
so,
somebody
yeah.
drew it.
I love it.
That's one of a very many Unsolved Watcher Ghost Files stories
Yeah.
that you have
Yeah.
that I think are great to tell. No more of them, I think, involve me being a mean person.
The awesome thing about the pizza thing too is when we
Just how funny it was.
well, no. Well, the thing about it is when we cut, or everyone has a camera. Like Mark, the cameraman, has a GoPro on top of his camera. Shane and I each have GoPros in our chests. So when we cut and we, reset to go to a different room, we all have to individually cut our GoPros. I forgot to cut my GoPro.
Mhm.
So this entire interaction is on film somewhere in the Buzzfeed vaults, as is the Island of the Dolls.
Island of the Dolls.
Because I also forgot to cut then.
Yeah.
You have our whole journey from the island back to town.
But man, that is the pizza store. We've alluded to it several times.
And
it
that's
was
the
fun
pizza
to
story.
unpack. It
I'm glad
really
that
was.
it's told, and I'm glad that we never have to revisit
And
it.
I like-
and that everybody's forgiven me.
I like the button on it of us going to hibachi
Right?
afterwards.
Everyone's forgiven me.
Oh, we never showed the popcorn. We'll show that next podcast
Oh wait,
episode.
I mean,
Oh, you want to see it? Let me send it
Yeah.
to you.
that's a good finisher.
All right. Sarah showed this to me last night.
It's good.
What is this?
This is a
You
level.
need the volume. Yeah.
Pause it real quick.
Okay, so you to round this episode out, Shane just brought us a video.
This was really mind blowing to me because I thought I'd seen it all in the popcorn game.
I thought I knew every piece of popcorn making machinery.
Kit, we know our way around Kit.
This looks familiar to me.
I had never seen this. This allegedly is
Neither
touted
had I.
as a way to get no unpopped kernels.
I didn't know that. It's just a
But
crazy
also
thing
it's
to
just
do.
a fascinating method of popping.
It looks pretty small though. So how much?
Okay,
can
what-
I-
okay,
is that
good.
is that the
So
point?
what we're seeing here is a tiny little, what appears to be almost like a cast iron goblet.
I'm blown away that you've never seen this before.
I have not.
I'm not either. I thought I knew all popcorn paraphernalia.
So it's a little tiny, very thick sort of cast iron.
but it doesn't look
goblet.
like it holds a lot of volume.
Mhm.
No, it's very small.
Important to note that.
Looks like maybe like a wine glass.
exactly
sized.
a small wine.
It looks exactly like a wine glass.
So a man is
made of metal.
Made of metal. So a man is, and it has a lid that it clearly like clamps down
Yeah.
and secures a lot
A
of
nice
pressure.
fastener.
Industrial looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
like a
we can play the
pipe
video
clamp.
Almost
here.
like an old school Stein.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't make them like this no more.
No.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's play. So he's scooping in some kernels.
That's a pretty sizable cup. That's
Yeah.
probably like a cup of or half a
Half
cup.
cup. I was gonna say about a half cup.
Yeah. Spilling quite a lot.
some. Yeah.
Oh, but now he's going. Okay.
Okay. Now he's latching it.
You do got to keep your workspace clean when you're making.
He's putting a
popcorn.
little of salt and a little.
Is
Salt?
that what that was? It was salt in there?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So latching, screwing it down.
What's wrong with his hand? It looks like he burned his hand.
sort of screwing it in.
Oh, he needed a tool to like screw it.
Now, I didn't even notice the
Whoa,
little
what?
thermometer on the.
Now does he whirl it? Oh yeah.
So now he's
He does
putting
a little
fire under it
spinny.
and giving it a. It basically sits in a swivel like
It's
a
on-
spit.
Yeah, like a rotisserie.
Heats up. There's a.
It was
Now
not
there's this bag.
This is crazy, dude.
You tighten the bag around it.
Okay, now I've not seen this.
This is what we haven't seen.
Whoa.
The lid. There's like a bit of a metal key of sorts that you then Like
he just fired like a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. Okay. So this is like the traditional. I think it's Chinese method. Of
I gotta try
making.
this popcorn.
So you basically open it toward a bag and then poof,
And
all at once.
You've seen this kettle thing before, right? Just not the bag thing.
Not the bag.
A kettle thing.
No, I haven't seen.
Are you
the
talking
kettle
about
or
a
the
whirly
bag.
pop?
Oh no,
The
because
whirly pop?
this
Oh, I love the whirly
I
pop.
think MythBusters made a big one of these.
Oh, cool.
I'm curious to see
this
that.
thing?
Yeah, because there are larger ones.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
I will say I am skeptical about the pop.
Oh my god. Okay, I was just about to say.
It was so
did
fast.
you see it at the end
It
there?
looks like it's a little overcooked.
a little overcooked.
Yeah.
And a little
Overcooked.
I don't like it when
They're
it's
very
all bulbous.
Yeah, it's all. Well, I think it's you fucking too. I swear to God. It's like it's almost it's almost like the way it popped was like because it's so contained. It didn't actually get to like
It doesn't get
it
to
didn't flower.
bloom.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't bloom.
I want to know what this little gun is he's firing.
So
right now.
this is not a gun.
It's not a gun.
He's
It releases.
He's
pulling-
releasing the lid. So basically, it's not actually
It's a
popped
latch.
until the
pressure allows
the
it
pressure allows it to. So the oxygen gets into it. So the heat is in there, getting it ready, and then he releases the lid, which then
Yeah.
because
Like
of
a
the
backdraft,
the
a popcorn.
pressurized
And
exactly.
he's doing it in the bag because it's safer this
Yeah.
way.
Damn, dude, it's very
Yeah.
satisfying to
And
watch.
let me see these
It is very
kernels one more
satisfying.
time.
They are
I
stunted
think
in their
They're a
pop.
little.
No,
doing just a nice little stovetop.
You
like
can't
I'm
eat
just
a
like
stovetop.
that's
it's the
I
only
feel-
way I do it.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, we got a comment from someone. Someone had said, "When I hear about their intake of popcorn, it always reminds me of my friend's dad. He was hospitalized due to anal bleeding, and the source was a bag of popcorn a day."
LOL.
Interesting.
LOL.
I haven't run into any rectal bleeding yet.
Well, that's good. Keep us posted.
Your ass gonna explode like that fucking.
I also wonder.
Popcorn.
Maybe,
Well, bag of
Sounds like-
popcorn sounds like he was doing microwave, so maybe that's a problem.
Yeah.
oh, that would be
Or
bad.
maybe I just have to scale the mountaintop. That's like when I'm a true
You're
colonel
not
head, when I
eating
start
enough.
shitting blood. The day I shit blood is the day I'm officially a colonel head. Thank you for that comment.
Christ.
So here's
Is your wife part of these life goals that you have?
She eats popcorn with me, so we'll both be shitting blood.
But
we have two toilets.
does she have the goal of reaching to the highest point in the mountain, as you said, of shitting blood?
If I tell her, if I frame it like, "Do you want to ascend to the mountaintop with me?"
they're gonna shoot up like the two in the Notebook, just in
She'll naturally
intertwined.
say
I mean,
yes.
also just Alton Brown advocates for popping in a metal bowl. With
I saw that
oil.
video.
This-
I don't mind it. Look,
No,
you
it's
do
no
what you
good.
want to do.
As
No
opposed to like a pot?
You need a whirly. You know, like a whirly.
Oh! I've done it in the pot before.
Whirly is
I've done it
goated.
in the pot and you shake it.
Yeah, I've done the shaky thing. But I want a whirly pop.
Yeah,
No, it's not the best.
Whirly.
Look,
I
it's
think
not the
Whirly's
best pop. It's not the best pop. I just said I did it. All right.
Jesus.
Wait, not in a metal bowl, in a pot on the stove.
Whatever.
He don't like that.
Whatever.
Not good.
You don't
enough.
like to do a stove? Like, how do you pop your popcorn?
No whirly pop on the stove.
Well, a whirly pop is a pot that you can help whirl.
Yeah, but there's more to it.
Right, but I'm saying when you don't have a whirly pop,
No,
you can
there's
put it
not.
in a regular pot with a little bit of oil and do the shaky.
Agree to disagree.
This is the same
How
shit.
did you do? How
Don't
did you
fall
do
into
it?
his trap, TJ.
How did you
This
do
is
it
exactly what he wants.
Hey,
I'm
whatever.
gonna get so mad.
Whatever.
Wait, how does a whirly pop work?
But how did you do it
It just-
before you?
Pop.
There's a little
What world?
fan at the
Oh
bottom.
my God.
There's
How
like a
did you-
little like
how did
two
you do it
blades
before
that
the whirly
move
pop?
when you rotate.
Never
it just
did.
rotates the seeds around.
My father.
It creates like a slow centrifuge.
It's no different.
My father
than
taught me
shaking
to
it.
make whirly pop when I was a boy. When I was a child.
When I was a boy.
But it's
I've
no
been
different than. So you just do that. You put it in a pot, and then you put the lid on there. You open the lid slightly, which is your whirly pop has,
Yeah.
and then you just shake it.
Yeah,
a little
you
bit.
do a little
You're
shaky,
just
just
doing.
to-
You're just doing a different motion.
I think
Yeah,
the
just
circular
so-
motion makes sure there's less wound.
No, it makes
No.
you
Yeah.
feel better.
But
about
I'm
it.
saying
No,
when
it's-
you don't have a whirly pop, you do it that way. You still
Oh,
get some good.
You want me to gift you one?
Yes,
I do,
it's
yeah.
my birthday. I don't know how many more hints I have to drop to get me a fucking whirly pop.
That's so funny.
Whirly pops are. You can get one for like $20.
I love whirly
They're the
pops.
best.
Every time I've seen someone or use one and tasted the popcorn made from them, it's delicious.
I have the automated. It's like a Hamilton Beach.
like the
$20
old school kind of popcorn maker, right?
Well, you don't put it on the stovetop. It's its own hot plate.
Yeah,
and then it just like rotates.
My parents used to have
I gotta get into
the
this.
old school
You
one
gotta
from the
get
80s where
you
you
gotta get a whirly pop.
it's like a tower that has the thing and you put the
Oh,
kernels and you put
yeah.
if you want butter or whatever
That's
you put the butter in there
awesome.
and then you plug it in and turn it on and then it
forgot
just
about
pops
the
and then just
towers.
pushes
And
it out and you
yeah.
just put a bowl underneath.
Yeah.
Those are really fun, yeah.
This looks good.
That's Podwatcher. TJ, thank you so much
Hey,
for
thanks for
being here
having
this
me.
week.
Yeah.
We'll have you back. Let us keep us posted on the other guy.
I will. So yeah, thank you so much
And
for
good
having
luck
me.
with post. I'm sure you got your work cut out for you.
Ooh boy, but I'm not cutting it. So
Beautiful.
I'm handing it off.
If you haven't, give us a review on your app of choice. Give us a subscription. And other than that, we'll see you next week, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.